Mm. Iced coffee is in the house. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. Today, it's another hot day, but we knew it was going to be a hot day. Today is Tuesday, July 18, and we have all kinds of saucy news to share with you. It's interesting how sometimes the flow of news is not predictable. Sometimes we get a lot of interesting things. Sometimes we get funny things. Sometimes we get saucy things. And I think we are going to have funny and saucy today. But before we go there, welcome back. It's always a pleasure to greet you every morning. Well, Sundays I greet Luna, and that's about it. But it's a pleasure to welcome you to Coffee and Headlines, where we combine what we know and what we love about Puerto Vallarta. We combine news and headlines from our city, state, and country, and we put all this information to good use whenever possible to connect with each other and to connect with our city as a community of English-speaking locals. Today, we are going to have interesting news about streets that I thought were finished, but are not. We're going to have interesting news about SEMARNAT, the Natural Resources and Environment Secretary, who's been in town cleaning house and taking care of business, and it's going to be interesting to report. Before we get started, as always, of course, I want to encourage anyone that is watching the show live for the first time to let us know. Let us know that you're here by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. And of course, if there's something really pressing that you wish to share with everyone, such as this message from Michelle, would love more info on Yarn Benders Group. Where, what time? She has added a capital letter Q at the beginning of her comment. So that means that we are going to showcase those comments later on. As far as information about Yarn Benders, there is a private Facebook group. I don't remember the URL, but I will gladly include it in the show notes today. All you have to do is, send push a button and ask to be admitted in the group, and that's all it takes. So we have lots of interesting things to look at today, so we might as well get started. Boom, boom, beam, boom, boom, with this one. This black screen that haunts me every single day. There you go. Take a look at this photo. I had to do a double take when I read this news item and looked at the photograph of Maria Montessori Street right across from the Maritime Terminal. That would be the hospital on the left-hand side. Wasn't the city working on this prior to last year's rain season, or was it 2 rain seasons ago? I don't even remember. But this was one of the 160 projects that Mayor Luis Michel announced that would be completed by a certain date. And it hasn't. And we're talking about only 200 meters worth of street. However, workers are seldom seen on site, and because the street got all dug up, it is in worse shape than it was before. And this is truly, truly unfortunate for anyone that is attempting to drive through this city. Apparently, it is all muddy and certainly not advisable for any small vehicles. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get from Francisco Medina Asensio into Palmar de Aramara by way of Maria Montessori Street. Then we have good news for cigarette smokers, not so good news for those that don't partake. Canirac, the National Restaurant Chamber of Commerce, has obtained a definitive suspension against the new anti-tobacco law, which went into effect this past January 15. What does this mean? This means that member restaurants can reinstate smoking areas in their businesses. So there you have it. It is what it is. And then this one I loved because according to Profeco, Mexico's Consumer Protection Bureau, there are some clothing brands in Mexico that are really not worth shopping for. There are 18 different brands on the list. The worst brands of clothing in Mexico. Some of them I could recognize, including CNA, H&M, Pull and Bear, Shine, Urban Outfitters, Gap, Victoria's Secret, and Zara. According to Profeco, these brands offer so-called fast fashion garments that self-destruct in short periods of time, whose goal is to keep customers coming back for new clothes over and over again. All I can say is I am very glad that my favorite t-shirt brand, Optima, is not on the list. Yes, I live on a budget, and I swear by Optima tees and Optima shorts. The Optima store, there are two locations here in town. One is 1 block away from the main plaza. The other one is located at Macro Plaza on the way to Pitillal. So there you have it. If you're going to shop local, try Optima. It is a great brand, and I'm not getting paid to endorse them. So there. Now, I have 3 bits of news that have to do with SEMARNAT, the Federal Secretary for the Environment and Natural Resources. They are in town and they are cleaning house. What does this mean? Well, for starters, we do have a local SEMARNAT office here in Puerto Vallarta, but whenever we get federal authorities or the federal government involved, then things are bound to happen, hopefully, at least. So we have 3 items. 2 of them are really good news for most of us, but then 1 item is probably not so good news for some. Let's start with the first one. In Bahía de Banderas, where a feasibility study will begin to determine the location of a brand new water well in El Colomo. This is in the upper Ameca River, to help alleviate increasing water shortages in the area and guaranteeing water for 80% of the population of this municipality during the next 2 decades. And this is excellent news. Of course, at this point, it's just a feasibility study to find out where to put together and build a new well to extract water from underground. The federal SEMARNAT Secretary Maria Luisa Albores Gonzalez was also here in Puerto Vallarta this past week, meeting with a number of neighborhood associations to discuss water-related issues and to inform them of plans the Secretary is hoping to undertake to help address them. Aside from improving the very important well in Ixtapa on the Ameca River, the Secretary is hoping to implement solutions along the Pitillal and Cuale rivers, although a series of feasibility studies need to take place first and foremost. What's important here, again, is that the federal government is intervening, which must also mean that the water shortage problem, as we've been saying, is indeed quite significant. And these are the two bits of good news involving SEMARNAT. The third one, not so good. Do you remember Serena, the construction project on Los Muertos Beach that resulted in a catastrophic landslide back in 2021? Secretary Albores also visited that location and announced that the construction project has been canceled permanently. Tómala. She also took time to point out irregularities at the nearby Mantamar Beach Club, where property owners have invaded 20 meters that correspond to the federal beach zone, adding that the construction was illegally approved by Puerto Vallarta's municipal government at the time. What a surprise. The secretary was quoted by saying, "The worst thing is that we have this irregular construction, which is very sad. And you must keep in mind that the permits are granted by the municipalities and then the federation has to come in to rectify things. But this is very complicated and made much worse when local authorities do not partner with the federal government." Sounds familiar? Unfortunately, Secretary Albores did not give any specific information regarding actions to be taken in the repair of Santa Barbara Street, which was destroyed in the landslide, or whether anything will be done to undo Mantamar's illegal construction. And those are the news. Let's take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what is going on out there. Are you enjoying your sunny day, meatbag? No, don't tell me about it. It was a rhetorical question. That's what Snarky Weather has to say today. What I have to say today is 30 degrees Celsius at present time. Humidity is at 76%. No surprise there. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 86. Our weather forecast for today indicates that we are going to have thunderstorms during the daytime with a chance of rain of 41%, light rain with scattered thunderstorms throughout the evening, and a high temperature of 33, low temperature of 23. And tomorrow, Wednesday, will be a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a chance of rain of 23%, a high temperature of 34, and a low temperature of 23. Then Thursday, mostly cloudy skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 34%, a high of 33, and a low of 23. What do you know? Early in the broadcast, because I noticed that the show was starting to roll in, and I found myself still playing a video game. And I wonder, how many of you out there play video games? Come on, fess up. I want to know that I'm not the only adult in the room that is shamelessly addicted to 1, 2, maybe 3 video games. So if you want to share your own video game addictions, please feel free to do so in the comments. We'll take a look at them in a second. But first, if you are out and about on the Malecón these days, you may want to check out an art exhibition titled Jaguar, the Jaguar on Canvas. This is organized by students from the Monterrey Technological University Guadalajara campus, and it's going to remain on display until July 21st. This is a partnership between the students and Alianza Jaguar, a locally based nonprofit agency dedicated to the protection of the jaguar, which of course is a protected species. And I have one about bad timing. I mean, there are better times to drop your pants, and there are not so good ones. Something happened to a poor politician, and this is not funny, but hey, sometimes you just have to laugh. Javier Borrego, a Morena federal deputy, was giving a speech at an event when his pants decided to drop on their own. Yes, it happened in The Simpsons. And it happened to this guy. For those attending, it was completely inevitable to burst into laughter. Deputy Borrego had no choice but to take things in stride, and he stated, and I quote, that the transformation of our country begins from down below, which made things even funnier, turned the politician into a social media viral sensation, and there's even a video showing the pants taking off on their own, and I'll leave that in the show notes. Last but not least, as you know, I love it when you share what keeps you busy, what keeps you inspired. Sometimes you send me wonderful images of food that you've cooked, or photos of your gardens, or photos of the squirrels you look after. And yesterday, cluster member Julia Swann reacted to my comment of the coasters that I've been making, and I have to say I had not realized how much I missed crocheting until the last 2 or 3 days that I'm doing it again. Yes, I have like 2 fans pointing at me because it's sweaty, but of course I'm doing small things. Anyhow, Julia was so kind to share with me these gorgeous hot plate chingaderas that she's been making. Some of these seem to be made with yarn, but others seem to be made with repurposed fabric, and I thought these are absolutely beautiful. So I want to thank Julia for sharing these with me, and as always, I want to invite anyone to share any glimpse of your lives with us by way of photographs, just so that we know what keeps you busy, what keeps you inspired, what keeps you happy. And speaking of happy, let us take a quick look at your comments, or not so quick. We're not in a rush. It's always a pleasure to look at all the wonderful people, all the wonderful friends saying good morning from the Lake of the Ozarks or from just around the corner. Good morning, Bill. It's always a pleasure to see you. Let's see. Pudding pum 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 pum. Hope you're all finding ways to stay cool, says Albert. Well, I'm up to 2 showers a day. Not long showers. I just need to get some water splashed on my face. Let's see. Yarn Benders. Oh, we already addressed that one. So I will look for the Yarn Benders Facebook group, and I will gladly share the information. It's official. I am a cat mommy. I got my cat's stroller, says Luisa from Guadalajara. I want to see photographs. I want to see photographs of you pushing your stroller. Let's see. And speaking of squirrels, here's Christy. Hello, Christy. Wishing everyone a fine Tuesday morning and an even better Tuesday afternoon and evening from very comfortable San Mateo. Oh, how nice to see that someone is comfortable. Yay. Did anyone feel the earthquake? Asks Charles. I did not feel an earthquake. If this happened locally, if it happened elsewhere, please tell us the details. And let's see what else we have. Paco, thanks for the shout out to John and Cesar on July 7th for our 10th year anniversary. I was catching up last night. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. If these things are important to you, then they're important to me. Let's see what else. I love these Guadalajara rains, but these mosquitoes are loving me back. Well, there's no preferential treatment here, dear friend. Mosquitoes are loving me back as well. Let's see what else we have. Oh, you guys are so funny. Angelica comments on the corruption issues. Much corruption with the permits. I am glad that they are doing something about it. Well, let's hope that it lasts. Because as you know, these municipal governments end, and whenever they end, it's usually during the last few weeks that people in charge decide to do their crazy deeds. So, oh, Daniel, how nice to see you. Daniel is one of my technology guardian angels. Daniel, of course, makes a living producing, Coffee and Headlines is a small project. Daniel is in the business of producing live broadcasts for things like the Emmy nominations and things like that. But Daniel is a dear cluster friend. He's donated some equipment to me, to you actually, so it's a great thing. And of course, Daniel is going to move to Puerto Vallarta before he even knows it. We are watching him like we watch so many of you fall under the spell of our city, and before you know it, you buy property, and before you know it, you're giving up your life north of the border. Daniel, I hope you come back soon, and I hope you come back for our meet and greet on the 1st of October of August. What am I talking about? The 1st of August. Let's see what else we have. In my travels through Mexico, I have realized Paco is exactly on point. I went to numerous businesses and their posted hours online don't match the reality that they are closed when you go there. Oh, John, I am so sorry to hear that. Now wherever I go, I always make sure that my Kindle is with me or my camera, because, if you get somewhere and you're not going to find what you are looking for, you have the choice of getting all ugly, or you have the choice of just being. And I think my blood pressure appreciates the latter. Oh, Mateo, you gotta stop playing music from time to time. Never have played a single video game in my life, says Mateo. Good for you. Suzanne plays video games every morning. So do I. I love it. Bucerias Rod says, I haven't played any video games since the mid-'80s. Ronald loves video games. I love it. Oh, that's noble. That's very big on you. I had to stop playing World of Warships on PS5 to watch Coffee and Headlines. We're right behind you, Charles. Thank you very much. Let's see. How are you defining video games? Well, Christy, if it plays on my iPhone or it plays on my iPad, that's how I'm defining video games. And I play several. Well, my big ones one is called Township, and it's about being the mayor of this little town. And the other one is a railroad track game. I don't even remember what it's called. But Township, I've been playing every single day for years. And it got so extreme that I remember taking a trip with some friends a few years ago where there was no internet, and some people were going through internet withdrawal, including Logan. So I gave Logan my phone so that he would go. They were going to go to a nearby town to catch up on their email. And I said to Logan, please bring my phone with me and open the Township game just so that the game knows that I have played every single day for God knows how many years. And Logan did that for you. That's what real friends are all about. Speaking of the devil, Logan says, the Simpsons have frighteningly predicted all sorts of real-life events over the last many decades. This is true. Oh, Gina. God bless you. My dear friend Gina. She's like, what keeps me busy? That is so funny. Gina has been going nuts because she's got the restaurant and she just purchased Pig Out groceries, and she's got this line of homemade salsas and fresh food, and good for you. I mean, good for you, because those are things that you enjoy. If this Hey Boo, you around this week? If this was for me, I am around this week, and I'd love to see you. I will stop by the restaurant sometime in the near future. Julia's chingaderas look perfect for keeping tortillas warm. Aren't they gorgeous? I thought they were absolutely beautiful. Oops, I killed the chit-chat music. My bad. There you go. Let's see. Wow, a pants dropper as a politician, as an attention-grabbing politician, that helps with name recognition. You think? Let's see. Not a video game, but I love jigsaw puzzles online. I think that counts as a video game, I suppose. Uy, the schwitzing is real. Let's see. Last minute reminder from Joshua. Today's the tie-dye class at 6:30. Still a couple of spots available. If you would like to make a t-shirt, make sure to let me know the size before 2 o'clock today. There you go. Kathleen plays solitaire, so do I. Oh, the earthquake was off the coast of Jalisco. I didn't feel anything, and that is probably good, Charles, because I needed a good night's sleep. Let's see. Puridum pum pim pim, pirim pim pam pum. Does Sudoku count? Of course Sudoku counts, Betsy. Let's see what else. I'm so glad that so many of you are playing playing video games. Oh, and Gina wants me to remind you that she has a sprinkler at Whiskey Kitchen for the meet and greet. Yes, Gina has installed an inflatable kid size, but I don't mind ducking, sprinkler at Whiskey Kitchen. So if you come to our meet and greet, make sure that you wear wettable clothes. Not the kind that will self-destruct in 6 months, as Profeco announced, but wear clothes that will allow you to get wet if you so desire. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of today's broadcast. As always, it's a pleasure to connect with you and go looking for interesting stuff to share with you on a daily basis. It's only Tuesday. We have a whole week ahead of us, so stay cool, stay kind, stay calm, stay collected. Don't drop your pants. Don't build illegal construction, but do stay in touch. Have a good one.